What is an adult life equivalent of calling your teacher mom? I have accidentally said love you when hanging up on a work call. I once did this with a girl I had been on 2 dates with. Needless to say, there was no third date. Edit. Holy shit, my first gold. I knew being a dumbass would have some benefits. Thank you. Edit 2. Just hijacking my top comment ever to say thank you to everyone for blowing up this post so much. Till that most people are just subconsciously telling everyone they meet they love them or that they should have a good meal, movie, insert random event here, too. Not to mention all the people who miss their parents and other loved ones so much they see them everywhere. Thanks once again. Bye. Love you. I was given a lift home by a colleague from work once. And when he stopped to let me out of the car, I leaned in for a kiss as it was what I would do to my wife. Thankfully he was looking the other way at the time. I did this once with a cop. I was driving to a law school exam when my car broke down on the freeway. A cop came and pushed my car off the closest off-ramp. I explained that I was on my way to an exam and asked if it was possible to leave my car there for a few hours. He was super nice and said he'd put a note on the car not to tow it and would give me a ride to my ex-monsieur. When he dropped me off, I leaned in for the kiss and then realized what I was doing and fled the car without thanking hi monsieur. I still feel bad about that. Once I was in the airport and I went to get a sandwich. I stood at the counter to tell the worker to give me a turkey sandwich, which he prepared. He handed it to me and his coworker noticed he didn't microwave it. So he extended his hand to me over those glass container thingies, which have food displayed in them, so he can take it to microwave it. I didn't understand why he was extending his hand, so I smiled and shook it. He laughed and pointed at my food and told me he has to heat it. I felt dumb as hell. I'm sure he appreciated it. That probably made his day. At Dollar Tree the other day, my boyfriend walked up to the cashier and she said almost immediately, "How was your meal?" And then, "Oh, wrong job." Quote, I used to work 2 jobs, one at Chipotle and one at a pet store. Several times when completing a transaction at the pet store register, I would ask, "Would you like chips with that?" Cringe, cringe, cringe. For what it is worth, I think most people are familiar with that type of screw-up and just got a kick out of it. These days I rarely talk on the phone to anyone who isn't family, so "love you, bye" is a standard phone call ending. We had some issues at our house last year and I'm pretty sure I told 2 contractors and the insurance adjuster I loved them monsieur. Edit. Thanks to all who posted to let me know I'm not the only one. I love you all. When I was 8 or 9, I was trying to call my dad at work, and the receptionist said he was busy. So I said to tell him to call me back and ended the call by saying, "I love you," and then apologizing. When my dad called me back, he was like, "Never apologize for saying I love you to anyone. Ever. I've said I love you while on autopilot since then, but have never said sorry for it." It really stuck with me. I've had 1 or 2 people say I love you without thinking about it and have never hesitated to say I love you too. Never gotten love you too back from it though. Anyway, I love you. Bye. It's okay, everyone needs some love. I have a friend who used to work as a nursery school teacher and then went to a job in an office. The transition was not easy. Apparently she started her first presentation by saying, "All right, everyone, quiet down. Fingers on lips." The reason she tells this story is that about half the people in the room, including her immediate boss, did it instinctively. Just picturing it is hilarious. On the way back from a client meeting with one of the partners, he wasn't paying attention when the light turned green and I said, "Hey, babe, you gotta go," and then I died. What happened? They died. Calling your girlfriend by your ex's name. This sounds much worse for some reason. Yes, and you will be stuck in an infinite loop of wait. Who is Cindy? Until she figures it out herself. But you would have to sleep on the couch till she is assured. Cindy. It's been 3 days, can I come sleep on the bed now please? Shit. Scene changed to person sleeping on the lawn. My old boss and my husband's names were one letter apart. I worked in a daycare, so the owner and all the staff often texted one another to update each other on kids, any issues parents had, and general questions. My husband was working third, and I was working first. We didn't get to see each other much, and most of our conversation was done via text. On my very first week, I was in a rush after getting into work, and texted my husband the same thing I always texted him when I got into work. Hey babe, I'm here. I hope your night was as awesome as your less than 3. I love you so much. Your dinner is in the crock pot. When I went on break, I checked my phone. Nothing back from my husband, but my boss had texted me. It read, "Love you too. Mwah." Quote. I was so confused until I looked back at the messages and realized I had sent her the text meant for my husband. Changed her contact name to Boss after that one. Thank God she had a good sense of humor about it. My boyfriend did this to me and my dad one time during college. For some reason, he used to have his contact number in his phone labeled as my name, dad. He sent him this big long message about how tired he was, how hard this test had been, etc. He didn't realize he sent it to the wrong number until he got back an encouraging message along the lines of, "Sorry to hear things are so tough. You're doing great. Hope to see you soon." Later, my dad said to my mom, "Good thing it wasn't something romantic." Quote. One of my soldiers called me dad in boot camp. It was pretty hard not to laugh. Edit. Thank you stranger for my first ever silver. Edit. Damn, this blew up. Thanks for the gold. Never expected this to catch so much attention. Ugh. This reminds me of being in boot camp as a lady, coming across a male drill instructor and saying, "Yes, ma'am," out of instinct. Walking up to the wrong car and freaking out when you can't unlock it. Haha. Of course, we've all done this, but one step further. I was with my brother in Florida for a family event. We had rented a car. Now anyone who knows anything about the FT Lauderdale area is that the average age is around 72 and their favorite cars seem to be gold Hyundai Elantras. We walked over to the car after food shopping, got in, and try as I might could not turn the key in the ignition. When I looked around and noticed we were in the wrong car, my brother and I looked at each other and just booked it. Stop leaving your cars unlocked, people. My husband did this with extra discomfort. He left the store, got in the car, looked over at the passenger seat, and it was not me. Whoever it was freaked out. My friend was on a toilet. Someone knocked and she said, "Come in." Single quote. Edit. Thanks for silver, kind stranger. I had a coworker who would jokingly call our chief Big Daddy behind his back. We were all working a little late one night and she let "Hey Big Daddy" slip as he walked in. To her credit, she owned it and now calls him that in regular conversation. Still weird though, going on autopilot and coming terrifyingly close to giving my short female employees noogies like I do my daughters. Good job, sport. Noogies. Sorry, Brenda. I'm a teacher. I unthinkingly scolded my dog the other day with, "Followed the directions." Quote. We kinda just stared at each other for a second while I realized how ridiculous I sounded. When my husband got home from work once, I told him to please get ready for dinner quickly and quietly. He looked at me incredulously and then I realized what I said and I'm like, I don't take it back. Well, I've accidentally rubbed the back of some random chick at Walmart thinking she was my wife. Before, my wife had a doppelganger when we were at grad school together. She would sometimes be in the bus as me. She worked in the next department over from my wife, and would run a similar schedule. More times than I probably remember, I've chased after her trying to get her attention with our pet names or some other term of endearment. I never recalled getting a response from her. Now that I'm typing this out, I realize she was likely terrified. My wife has said it was weird seeing her around as well. The resemblance was uncanny. Edit. I never had a conversation with the doppelganger, but she knew about my wife and she had seen us both together. She must have known. I wasn't interested in a threesome. I think this girl was a bit younger than us. This was 8 to 15 years ago also, so I've not seen her further yet. I'm a dental hygienist. My patient was a man who had just turned 91 the day before. Instead of saying, "Happy late birthday," like a normal fucking human being, I accidentally, and very loudly, said, ****, happy last birthday, ****. The look on his face. Y'all, this was also my second day at my new job. Edit. To answer everyone's question on if he's still alive, I have no idea. This happened about 2 months ago, so I won't be scheduled to see him until sometime in July. Fingers crossed he comes back or I'm going to feel even worse. Also, thank you for the gold and silver, but please put that for the charity of your choosing instead. My idiocy doesn't need rewarding. Oh, oops. How do you ever recover from that? Edit. Thanks for the silver. Thankfully, for me, the appointment was over, so I was actually walking him out front so he could leave as I said this. The rest of the walk was pretty quiet. My husband has mixed up my and his sister's name more than once. Also, calling your kids the pet's name. I always mix up my wife, daughter, and sister's names. My dad used to always mix up my name with his brother's. Greater than I always mix up my wife, daughter, and sister's names. Oh no, less than insert tired joke about Alabama greater than. Not me, but my monsieur. She was in a meeting and not paying attention for whatever reason. Then someone asked her a question and she responded with, "What's that, honey?" Quote, made me crack up for so long. I do things like this at work a lot when I'm tired. I was frustrated with one of my coworkers. She was being really obnoxious and not listening when we were having a conflict about something she had done, which screwed up my project timeline. I just blurted out my daughter's name in a stern way, and said, "Listen." I caught myself after that. It broke the tension and we laughed. But it frustrated me so much that the mom ways kicked in. Thank you for watching.